Welcome back to All Stars. We're in round 7, which is almost the halfway point in this 15 episode series. After this round, there's only one more round of second stage, and after that, we'll have our 10 alumni. Before we get there though, we've got some confessionals to do, which brings me to...
And we are back with an exclusive interview with esteemed All-Stars host, Epsilon. Question: roughly how long does one episode of All-Stars take to produce? Any interesting aspects about your process you'd like to share?
This is actually an interesting question that I've wanted to go over. My workflow pretty much progresses in the way that's listed on the to-do list. My backend is entirely of my own creation, meaning it's ugly as hell, but it does work, so whatever. I record everyone's items during responding, and I go back over everyone's boost to check it once voting ends. Then I move everyone into a bare-bones leaderboard resembling seasons 1 through 3. From there, I manually move everything into the more fleshed-out leaderboards on slides that you see in the video, and add the cards at the top. I take screenshots of each response to put them in the video from there. Once I have the full leaderboards, I switch to script writing, which is about as simple as you'd imagine. I drop the audio and the leaderboard images into Premiere Pro from there, and I animate everything to look, smooth enough. I've learned a lot about Premiere Pro since starting this season. I had never used it beforehand, so I might try to increase the production quality in third stage as the contestant count drops. I find music to put in at the end. That's something that I'd like to expand upon more, as the only remotely interesting thing I've done with music sync so far was the end of the walk-on reveal.
Question: the card designs are such a cool aspect about this TWOW's aesthetics. Did you draw them all yourself? What are some of your favorites and why?
I did in fact do them all myself. That's something that I really wanted to do in roguelike, but I didn't have the time or the ambition to do it with 150 items. The art is the main reason that I made the items cards anyway. It's easy to make a nice design in a 15 by 21 pixels rectangle. The vast majority of them are taken from actual cards that exist in real life or in games. The Magic cards are from Magic, the Pokemon cards are based on Pokemon, Trap Card and Draw 2 are based on their respective games, and Joker, Tarot cards, Rules cards, Suicide King, Blank card, Question Mark card, and Holy card are all modeled off of their designs in the Binding of Isaac. There are a few more references too. As for my favorites, I'd have to say Hidden Block card and Block of Wood. I did use a reference for Hidden Block card, but I'm super happy with how it turned out. It looks great. Block of Wood had no reference, and it's one of the things that is card-shaped instead of an actual card. I'm just very happy with this one. It looks great, and I think you can totally tell what it's supposed to be.
Question: what goes through your mind when making balance changes towards the cards? Do you specifically target 96LB with nerfs?
My number one goal with balance changes is to keep people from feeling like the game is impossible for them, because then they won't respond. That basically means ensuring that the players at this top can't completely run away with the win, but still rewarding them for their successes. I did not specifically target 96 with the nerfs, he's just the guy that finds the exploits most often. I did, however, kind of design second stage with 96 in mind. In Season 4 I found that Bottle Imp wasn't really a fun item at all to use, because he either had to break the game completely and leave everyone else playing for second place all season, or he had to die. So I created the format of second stage to allow maybe 2 or 3 people to completely run away at the top, while still allowing people to fight for spots in the top 10. I do want to reward people who break the game, because game-breaking strategies typically require good responses and lots of focus on item management, which are absolutely 2 things I want people to have.
Finally, your contestants are dying to know. Are you able to provide a small sneak peek as to what Phase 3 of All-Stars will look like?
No.
Wow, those were some excellent answers. That's all the time we have for today, folks. Give it up for our host, Epsilon, and see you next time.
Alright, now let's hear from everyone else. ACN said, Epsilon forgot my confessional last round, so instead of subtly saying it, sad, someone else will. Round 6 confessional. So far, so good. I'm in an alright spot right now. I know there's a ton of people behind me looking to make big brain moves, so right now I really need to stand my ground. I had 5 strategies for this round. One that's my round 4 one. Another that this prompt is kind of favorable of, the one I used. The good one, my round 5 one. A variant of my round 4 one, and Suicide King. Not desperate enough to use it yet, but I know that was the round to do it. However, it seems like Defnut and Winnie have the ideal setup to try. With Trico DMPing and knowing I have good odds of placing above 4 people, my cards reflect the best way to take advantage of it. Hope you enjoy. Now for my round 5 confessional. This is so meta. Round 7, in absolute shambles, would have healed an extra 4 damage, meaning I would have netted 0 this round. And that's probably the last of the healing shenanigans. Oh, boo-hoo. Brr, skibbity dop dop dop. Yes, 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 yes. Skibbity brr doo doo. Jesus Christ. Okay. Charita said, someone used an index card. You will receive a 3% boost if you pass this technical. Ironic said, say hello to the Allegro X9J, codename Redeemer at the Mason Mower Skunk Works and Side Mount Hood. 73 decibels of twin barrel 4-stroke war cry, all at a price I can't really afford. Mr. Dell said, do not respond to Epsilon's TWOW All-Stars at 3 AM. Gone wrong, 14 damage, Q card sucks. Navy sent this image. Not a Donut said, I hate Guy Fieri.
Flavor Town.
TR said, broke, leaving a positive comment on the latest Epsilon TWOW All-Stars video specifically for a rewards card. Woke, leaving a positive comment on the latest Epsilon's TWOW All-Stars video because the production quality is incredible and the series is super entertaining. Thank you, TR. I try my best. Subtly said, never forget to ask stupid questions. You may be able to get an answer that allows you to break the game. That's all. Okay, one last thing before results. Well, 2 actually, because last round I made 2 mistakes that I want to correct real quick. First, I had ZX and Dell's stats wrong on the leaderboard. You can check the round 6 leaderboard on the stats sheet for the accurate values. Second, Gray's damage was wrong since I forgot to change their round 5 DNP to an excusal. That's fixed, but they did DNP this round, so they will be taking 29 damage for real this time. Here's the damage leaderboard from before this round, in case you want to take a quick look. The prompt this round was about as simple as I could make it. You had to name the best food and explain why it's the best without talking about eating it. Apples, pineapples, and onions were the only foods mentioned by multiple contestants, but the winning food was...
Boy, oh boy. Nothing beats a hot and steamy hot dog weenie.
Plasmic Trojan is our 7th round winner. His response, hot dog buns are the next wallet. Plying cashiers with cash becomes awkward, stopping impulse buys. Scored 73% and his card layout did the rest of the work. Trojan passed the only index card technical this round, which required players to have E and S be the most common letters in their response, and for those letters to appear the same number of times. After round 5, I introduced a nerf that made index card fail if nobody else passed your technical. Well, this stipulation almost cost Trojan the win, but thanks to literally one other person passing this technical, Trojan kept the 6% and stayed in first. Trojan used the increasingly popular double forest strategy, which he was able to effectively pull off after netting 9 points from his hidden block card. Across the board, hidden block card was pretty nice this round. His Q card did throw him a curveball with the word ply, but Trojan made it work. Second place in raw score was ZX, whose response is much easier to read. I only learned about the fact that honey didn't spoil recently, but it does still congeal and harden, I think. I don't know what that means for the metaphor. ZX was the luckiest player I have ever seen this round. Not only did they receive 10 full points from hidden block card, draw 2 gave them 2 viable, expensive card to use, and their Q card gave them the word honey in a roundabout food. Luck like this will never happen again. It was nuts. Their Q card didn't even have any words that were more than 2 syllables, so they could use block of wood for free also. Well, for free. In third is Lotto winner 96LB, who has managed to reach the point where he can submit literally anything and still make third stage. This is the first time the trolley bus emoji has been used in a response to my TWOW, I think. Definitely Nod is up next, and his use of Trap card helped to mitigate the penalty he took from Antimatter card. It's very impressive how well Defnod is doing, despite him having 3 fewer points than anybody else. He was obviously here for the items. Other than 96, who had the aid of winning the lottery, TR had the highest boost this round. His response is worded very awkwardly, but there is a good idea underneath the technical squeeze, and that was enough to get him top 5. You know, considering the overlap that a lot of people in this community have with Algadoo and Marble races, I'm surprised responses like the names H's don't come up more often. It's a cool thing to think about a meatball race. The player who won in raw score this round is Ironic, with his great response about ring pops. It's probably my favorite response of the round. It's weird to say this, but his 33% card field is actually kind of average. It's unfortunate that Ironic's reinforced band-aid failed, but 3% is a tough gap to make up when your response is already scoring so high. I think Ironic might be the first person to ever use both rules cards, so that's pretty impressive. In 7th is Winnie Unity, who, whoa, took some damage, dude. Winnie's taken a very risky gamble by using the Lovers to trade 10 extra damage for MasterCard. He beat 22 people, counting those that have DNP'd, so Winnie will receive a 3-point discount on all of his cards last round. You know what? That just might be enough to bridge the gap. His response deserved better than 55, by the way. Of course, if you don't want to take that 10 extra damage, you could just buy MasterCard instead. Subtly did that, and she'll be working with the same 3-point discount. Good job, Subtly. Lee is also the first person to use Temperance, meaning that every item has now seen use this season. It was meaningfully used too, since Lee snatched the last spot above MasterCard's 3-point threshold with the boost from Temperance. I'm incredibly proud of the fact that every item I've created this season has seen use by round 4 out of 5. I appreciate all of your creativity, everyone. Legend closes out the top 10 with a modest build focused on blocking damage. His response is great, and I'm surprised he didn't perform better. Hey, so remember how last round I lied about Gizmote winning in raw score? Well, I did it again, with Ironic. I won the round in raw score again, losers. Speaking of Gizmote, here's Gizmote. They are the first person to roll the heal 5 damage effect from Hidden Block card. Gizmo's keeping on the half response coupon strategy, and it continues to work. Meowie Cat's in 12th, followed by Gizmote's second response. Meowie is the only person besides Trojan to pass Trojan's technical, so Meowie is basically responsible for changing the winner of this round. Mr. Dell had less than favorable luck this round with difficult cue card words like aquatic and no real benefit from Hidden Block card. His Great Ball on TR failed too. Still, 9 damage isn't something that he can't make up. I think his response was still more decipherable than some others that have shown up already in any case. Not a Donut's response is definitely hard to decipher, especially since I ruled that the word dive, meaning restaurant, was not going to work for British slang. I think my justification was pretty reasonable. Dive bars are absolutely a real common thing in the United States, and I mean, yeah, we do have a show called Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, and I did think that that would be funny, but, like, they're a thing outside of that, obviously. Cherita is still fighting from the middle of the leaderboard, and he now has some extra points to work with in round 8. Good response, too. Navy's response is strange. He's the only person who didn't abandon Donor card after the nerfs to it. I'm not so sure if that was the best idea. Navy is also the first person to forget to leave a positive comment for rewards card, you fake fan. For those unaware, Ali% and an Epic both independently put a build together that let each of them submit 4 responses this round, and Ali% has his top 2 up first. His top response actually placed 4th in raw score, but the 10% penalty from antimatter card did a lot of damage to his placement. The 24 karat bagel response has an unreasonably low standard deviation, which is interesting. Here's Piloto, surrounded by 2 more responses that don't count. Piloto deserved a lot higher, come on. Also, I'm gonna be honest and say that I have no idea what my second dummy response means. I have clearly forgotten. An Epic had a higher penalty than Ali from debit card rebound, but his best response also only scored 46%. Yes, Bleach, I love Bleach. An Epic, an Epic, an Epic. Okay, so we've got 2 players left, ACN and Corpulent. Well, ACN noticed that because of the number of DNPs, he could put a healing build together that healed and blocked a combined total of 19 damage, which meant that his max damage was 1 this round. So he did that and did not get punished for it. I might have to do something about that. Corpulent, on the other hand, tried to Suicide King again. And did it work? No, it did not. He was clipped by ACN's healing build and will take 15 damage. That is probably the end for Corpulent, I'm afraid. But please, prove me wrong. And that's round 7 brought to a close. The new damage leaderboard looks like this. There wasn't a ton of change. Think I'm gonna have to shake things up for round 8. But before we get to that, I do have a small number of balance changes to make. And by a small number, I mean 1. By this point, I'm pretty happy with the balancing, but I do want to close one fairly major loophole. For the purposes of kids drawing, UN flag, and any other cards that rely on definition, numbers are not considered words. Furthermore, any attempt to skirt these cards with non-alphanumeric characters or words that are intentionally misspelled will not be accepted. I am aware that the number 5 doesn't have a definition, but the word 5 definitely does. Just do me a favor and play by the rules on that for one more round. Alright, it's time to unveil the twist for round 8. It's pretty simple. I threatened this in the last round, but this time it's really happening. Round 8 will have double damage. Instead of damage progressing by 1, it'll progress by 2. Healing and blocking will not be doubled. To ensure that this doesn't get too out of hand though, I'm going to remove reminders from everyone who's DNP'd in second stage so far. I'm not explicitly eliminating anyone yet, but I'd like the maximum damage people can take this round to stay around 30. Anyone who's played in all 4 second stage rounds is welcome to participate. If you have DNP'd and you think you can still put together a miracle, then by all means go for it, but I obviously won't fault you for bowing out. And I do want to say, there have been a lot of strategies of like, oh, just write throw responses to throw off the Suicide King people, or just respond with a throw and make a hard index card technical. If you're out of the running, I'm probably only going to accept serious attempts at responses, and I am not going to let this turn into a chimera round. With all that said, you all do need a prompt to work with for round 8. So here we go. So, you know those infomercials on TV that market a really pointless or just blatantly useless product for an absurd amount of money?
You're gonna have an exciting life now. Breakfast to go. You're gonna love my nuts.
It's new OxyClean detergent. Get on the ball.
Well, you want to make a product like that. The problem is, you live in an ancient civilization and TV hasn't been invented yet. As a member of an ancient civilization, what is your completely useless product and how do you market it at its ridiculous price? I'd recommend combining the two requirements on this, naming the product and marketing it into kind of like a sales pitch. Maybe go at it from like a door-to-door salesman type of route, that could help. You can be as liberal as you want with the definition of an ancient civilization, by the way. You don't actually have to be ancient. I'd say anything before like the 1800s is completely fair game. You can go like medieval, you can go ancient, you can go prehistoric and make a response about dinosaurs, I don't know. You can go to a different planet if you really want. This is your last chance to make some magic happen, everyone. Good luck.